Hi and welcome to video number 3 in our KipwareXC series. And in this particular video we're going to go in depth into the profile and show you some of the predefined options that are available inside the profile. We've already talked about this macro language in the other video and the complete line replacement in the other video. Let's take a look at some of the other things that we have as predefined conversions inside the software. So one version of KipwareXC, we can do radius lathe, diameter lathe, or mill X and Y conversions. We can use inches or metric programs to do the conversions. We can have a conversion start and stop command. So rather than converting all of the program, you can put a start and stop command inside the program. So only certain sections of the program could be involved in the conversion. We have a delete code identifier, which means that every time, for instance, you see an H value, regardless of the data that's following the H command, we'll just remove the H command. So this would be defined in the macro languages, say H $. Every time the software sees an H command, regardless of the value in there, it would remove it. Also, one of the things we can do is convert incremental X, Y, and Z to absolute. So if you have a program that's using incremental values inside the program, we can make it all absolute by just selecting this feature inside the profile. A couple of other things that we can do, circular options. We've got a bunch of different circular options that can come into play. We can convert, say, an R command to incremental I and J or absolute I and J, or incremental I and K to absolute I and K. We can convert incremental I and J to a letter address that the user can define. So we could take I and J, convert it to R, or say on an Okuma machine we could take it I and J and convert it to L. We can convert absolute I and J to incremental I, J, and K using these options here. So we've got a bunch of predefined circular command options that we can do. We can invoke quadrant restrictions for either incremental or absolute arc centers. This means that if you have a machine that needs to only do, say, 90-degree arcs, if you have an arc that goes 135 degrees, but you need to separate that into two lines, so it'll go 90 degrees and then the rest of the arc. We can do that through the arc restrictions and the quadrant restrictions. We can also do some full circle conversions. So we can convert incremental full circles into IJ quadrants or absolute full circles into IJ quadrants. We've got some lathe options that we can do. So we can convert X from diameter to radius, and we can invert X-axis commands. If you have, say, a multi-axis machine and you want to take a top turret program and make it into a bottom turret program. We can do some G and M code separation, so you can define G codes or M codes that you want to separate onto a line by themselves. For instance, some machines can use multiple M functions on a line, whereas maybe the format that you want to go to can only use one M function on a line. So you can define that. Those M functions or G codes would be automatically broken up based on this profile that you create. We have an auto offset option, so we can do some addition or subtraction or some mirroring based on what we can do here. So you can use, say, T1. You want to add an inch to all the offsets. You could do that automatically through this auto offset feature. Decimal options, which is a powerful function inside KipwareXC. Many old G-code programs don't use decimal points. We've got a bunch of different decimal point conversion options that you can do in KipwareXC where we can add decimal points or remove decimal points. We've got some predefined profiles that you can do. So let's say you have a Fanuc machine that does a single line can cycles and you want to convert it to double line can cycles, or vice versa. Or you want to take a Fanuc to Okuma. So if you have Fanuc single line can cycles and you've got an Okuma machine, it'll automatically go through and take those can cycles and convert it to a Fanuc format. We also have some powerful insertion options. So we can use a trigger code and we can put in a complete replacement line, and you can decide if you want to do it before the trigger line or after the trigger line. We can also insert complete files. So using a trigger command, we can go and grab a predefined text file and automatically insert it at that trigger command. So some powerful things that you can do if you have to insert multiple lines of code in replacement of a single line of code. You can do that inside the profile. So the profile is very powerful between the predefined options and the macro language. We can do just about any kind of conversion in KipwareXC. And the beauty part of KipwareXC is you can make as many different profiles as you want. There's no restrictions. So one purchase of the software, you can make as many different profiles as you want. So if you have 7, 8, 10 machines on the shop floor, all different controls, you can make as many different profiles as required to take those formats and convert them between all of the machines.